And good evening, I'm Cheryl Noble, and welcome to the award-winning Cafe Community. Every week we take a look at people who make a difference in our community, as well as our wonderful resources to help us survive and thrive together. And we've got a great program for you tonight. We hope you got your clocks changed back and you're with us and we're live and we're ready to give you a good program. A little bit later tonight, we're going to learn about a new walking club for seniors and those with disabilities. We'll also hear about the Gold Country Community Center, what's evolving with that. And my first guest is a first-timer on the program. So glad that she could be with us. We're going to learn a little bit more what's new around the Food Bank of Nevada County. So we're glad you can be with us. Let's get going. As I mentioned, my first guest is a first-timer. She is the Executive Director for the Food Bank of Nevada County. And a very warm welcome to Toni Thompson.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate you having me on your show.
You're very welcome. I've been wanting the food bank on, and you've got great news to tell everybody.
Yes, I do. The food bank got a grant this year to purchase its own building. We received a grant from the United States Department of Agriculture, and so we have a new home.
Yeah.
This is going to make us much more efficient.
Yeah. Well, it turns out you were telling me that the mortgage is less than the rent that you were paying.
Yes.
And it's a bigger building.
Yes. We, in much nicer, in its, what I would consider a green building.
Oh.
It's insulated, well insulated, so our PG&E bills, and we're expecting all of our utility bills to go down as a result of that. Right. But our rent, we were renting commercial warehouses, and so every year they kept going up and up. Just to keep up with the inflation, the landlord raised the rent on everybody, not just the food bank. Oh. But now that we have our own building, we have a 40-year mortgage at 4.0%. Yeah. And so it was a very good
you couldn't turn down the opportunity.
No.
And it didn't, it wasn't funds that you had to take from your holdings from contributions. It was all grant money that you got to take advantage of.
Yes. Yeah. Well, one of the items that is happening nationally is that the government is looking at food banks because we are at the forefront fighting, what's happening today in assisting families.
Especially in rural areas like ours.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it was not a difficult grant to get. It was just a very tedious grant. The process was
sure.
You have to jump through so many hoops, and one day you thought that you got it, and there was, we had to go start all over again. Yeah. So it took us about a year.
Oh.
It was a very tedious process.
You hung in there.
We did. We had to. But, the community deserves its own food bank. And so
absolutely.
We were able to successfully win that fight, and now we're there. And
new digs.
Yes.
Well, and like you were telling us earlier, the demand is growing because the need keeps growing. And you've got several events with food donations, but I wanted to learn about this mailing campaign for your operating costs to keep you going. So tell us about that.
Well, every year the food banks, in conjunction with some of the wonderful volunteers from RSVP, we do 47,000 pieces of mail that it's our winter, fall mailing, soliciting donations that would help the food bank operate all next year.
Okay.
And so one of the problems that we've had in the past that I wanted to make the community aware of is that sometimes you may get our mailer. Our mailer, by the way, is out this week. This week.
So the mailer's in the mail.
Yes. Okay. You should get our mailer soon, within the next 2 weeks, because we cover the whole county. But one of the items that has happened in the past is sometimes the Food Bank of Nevada will solicit money in our county, and it's not the Food Bank of Nevada County.
Yeah, and then we have on the screen now what people should look for, which is your logo, so that they know that that the contribution, the donation they make, goes to us and not Nevada.
Exactly, exactly. You know, if people want to donate to Nevada, Placer County, that's really wonderful, and we encourage, because
Sure.
everybody needs help.
Sure.
But I think that our responsibility is in our own backyard.
Yeah.
And we need to you know, be able to help our neighbors. So anything that you donate to the food bank stays locally.
Okay.
Any foods that we buy with your donations, we buy them locally. We do a lot of business with the local grocery stores.
Oh, great.
So all that money stays behind, but be very careful when you get a mailer that you are comfortable that it's going to the Food Bank of Nevada County
Right.
and not the Food Bank of Nevada, which is in Reno, and
Right.
it's
Oh.
different than our.
Right.
Our food
And,
bank.
and people want to make a contribution locally, so just look for the logo
Yes.
and make sure it's ours. And this is money, the campaign is to help with the operating costs of keep the lights going
Yes.
and your overhead.
Well, you know, we take the food to the people. We provide food in 4 areas in the county once a month.
Okay.
That lasts families a couple of weeks. So the operating of the vehicles,
Right, the
insurance,
gas.
gasoline,
Right, I see.
The energy bills in order just to keep the food bank operational. That's, you know, that's really bites into your
Sure.
funding or
Any
you know,
budget
donation
like
base.
ours, and for nonprofits too,
Yes,
it cuts
yes.
in. And is the contribution that people make, is that tax deductible?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We have a nonprofit number, and we always send a thank you letter with our nonprofit
good.
ID number that you can use when you do your taxes for the
Okay.
IRS.
And then also for convenience, they can do it through your website too, which is the foodbankofnc.org,
Yes.
right? Okay, so that's convenient.
And you can look in our website, and there's a way, it just will walk you through the process of donating.
Yeah,
to
there's
the
a little
food bank.
button that
Yes.
says donate.
Yes.
And about how many people do you think you serve a month? And
We
how,
serve about 1,600 families
oh my gosh.
a month, and we saw a 14% increase this last quarter in requests for services. And of course, Thanksgiving is around the corner, so
Right.
we're really, that's, you know, holiday revolves around food. And we
Right.
are prepared that anybody in the county that needs a turkey and all the fixings will get
Be
that
taken
food.
care of.
They will be taken
Great.
care of. No one's ever turned away from the food bank, ever.
Well, you provide a great, important, valuable service to the community. And thank you, Tony, so much for coming
Thank
on.
you.
Please come back.
Thank you so
again.
much.
Yeah. And good luck with the
Thank
drive.
you.
Please contribute. The website is foodbanknc.org, and it's time for our first break. So stick around while I bring up my second guest. We'll be right back.
Take me down to the river. Take me down today. Walk me down to the water. Wash me down, okay, and I'm gone, yeah, and I'm gone, yes, I'm gone. Lay me down. By the river.
Okay, we're back. My second guest tonight is also a first-timer on the program. You might have heard that the Gold Country Community Center, which used to be out the fairgrounds, is trying to get a new home. And here to tell us about it is the board president for the Gold Country Community Center. A warm welcome to Beth Moore.
Thanks very much.
Hi, Beth.
Hi.
This is so exciting because we need a community center for all ages. So
Yes.
how did this evolve and how did you get involved? Tell us about it.
We were at the fairgrounds for 27 years. We were there for a long time, and it originally was the Western Nevada County Senior Citizens Foundation. And about 7 years ago, it reincorporated to become the Gold Country Community Center, specifically to include all ages. There was just such a push for that, largely because our senior population is in transition, and where once we'd assume certain people of certain ages were seniors, it got to be where people 60 or 65 or so would come in and be signing up, and they'd say, "Oh, are you here for our programs?" And they'd be like, "No, I'm signing up my 85-year-old mother. I'm on my way to the river." It's like, I'm not a senior, So we thought, okay, well,
I like that thinking.
that's right. That's right. We need to shift a little. The demographic is changing. People are more active and kind of doing things with their lives for all of their lives, and not just kind of nestling into the rocking chair any earlier than is absolutely necessary.
Right.
So we also shifted with that, and we're trying to move into that title. It got to be difficult to be at the fairgrounds because they control that building, and we couldn't provide programs in the evenings or weekends either to serve younger populations or as a means of making money. And our original agreement was that it got to revert back to a rental agreement that we couldn't sustain.
Right.
So we've moved in a cooperative arrangement with the Nevada City Senior Apartments.
Right, that's for the meals, the weekly meals.
Exactly, for the our High Noon Senior Nutrition Program, which we've continued. We feed over 4,000 people a month.
Oh my gosh.
Home delivered and congregate meals in our dining room. Yeah. And meanwhile, it's a smaller space, it's a carpeted floor. Some of our large motor dance programs had a hard time there. So we've rented some space from the Love Building with a gracious support arrangement with the City of Grass Valley. And we operate out of there a couple days a week for Tai Chi, ballroom dancing, line dancing, things like that. But we got a generous bequest last year, and we approached Grass Valley. We said, we know that you're in tough times and you've cut your Parks and Rec department.
That's right.
We've got some money, and I knew that they had a grant that Sandy Jacobson had helped pull together.
And they need to use it by a certain
They
time.
have to use it by, it has to actually be in final built development by spring of 2012. Yeah. It was originally 2011, but because of the budget constraints and delays, they got a generous little pushback, which served us nicely. So we're in negotiations. There's no ink dried yet, but we're telling people.
The location is at?
The Memorial Park in Grass Valley.
And there's a building already there that you're looking at.
If you want to call it that, yes.
It's a wannabe, an old dilapidated.
It's an old building, all exterior wiring.
It's a senior building. It's 92 years old.
Yes, it will be receiving a radical renovation, yes. So we won't tear it down entirely, but nearly, and we'll completely rebuild it. It will only give us eventually a footprint of not quite 4,000 square feet, but that will get us started. Yeah, that will get us started. It won't accommodate our nutrition program, but it will move us along in that direction and allow us to demonstrate the need, the interest, the support from the community. We've heard from so many people. Many are like, we need a teen center. We need a senior center.
Right.
What we hear the most is we need an all-ages community center where the generations can be supportive of each other, learn from each other, and really share resources together. So,
right. And it just the essence of community.
Exactly.
And it stretches all across the demographics.
That's right. That's right.
Our maybe the pulse, the heartbeat of where we go to.
We just concluded our very successful 6th grade challenge fundraiser this Friday night at the Vets Building.
I heard about that.
Yes, it was excellent. You pit the clampers against the sheriffs, against various
that's
businesses.
a takeoff of a TV show.
Yes, Smarter Than a Fifth Grader or whatever.
Right,
I don't
okay.
actually watch
Excellent.
TV, but yes. There's that. We do various bistros. We had a recent New Mexican bistro and a luau. We had a new model this summer, the Rollathon, which Freed was a wonderful participant in, which invited people to show up on anything on wheels. So we had strollers, we had rollerblades, we had wheelchairs, we had people, however they could amble in. It was pretty, and we had walkers as well. So that's already looking at much bigger and bolder this summer. And then we have our celebrity waiter dinner, which will be restarted. We let it rest this last year while we moved, and we'll be starting that up again this year as well. So we have a number of interesting events, including various people.
So where are you in the securing of this? I mean, are you waiting for all your funds to be complete? Or
Our
is the
funds are
permit
in
process?
place for the most part. We actually need to raise another quarter of the money that we need, but we've got the bulk of it already in place. We've written a letter of intent to Grass Valley. They're putting in place what their needs are to partner with us, to collaborate with us. So we'll be developing shortly our business plan, putting a nice financial campaign together to help support the remainder of the money needed. But we expect to be pulling that together in the next few months. We have
And hopefully start in the spring?
Yes, yes.
Okay, the
Yep.
anticipated start of it.
Yes.
So, okay, tell us how we can get more information.
People can certainly call us at 273-4961. That's the Gold Country Community Center number. They can also look up our website, which is goldcountrycenter.org. We're also starting up on Facebook this week, finally.
All right.
Yes.
Search Facebook.
I've been putting events out on my personal one, but it's like, no, let's get your own Facebook. So,
Yeah.
we're expanding and reaching out to the other generations, all of them.
Start building the dialogue in the community.
That's all that social media. Yep.
It's free, though.
That's right. That's right.
And it works.
Yes, market where you can and save those pennies.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Beth, please come back so we can hear a progress report
I
on
will.
this. This
Thank
is
you.
very exciting for our community.
Thanks, and thanks for hosting us here. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. We are taking our second break, bringing up my third guest. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Lay me down slow. Move around me like the water. Rinse me down my bones. And I'm done. And I'm done. Yes, I'm done. And the river, yeah, I went down to the river today. I do my best sometimes to get away.
I'm back, and we're back, and I'm happy to bring on two guests for my third segment. They're going to talk about a new stroll and roll walk club that has started in our community. On my left is Cynthia Schutz. She is one of the coordinators for Stroll and Roll. She's also with the Falls Prevention Coalition. And on her left is Charlotte McDermott, who is a stroll and roller. She's a participant. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
And Cynthia, I'll start with you, how this evolved. And I hear Freed Independent Center, they're quite active these days with various groups like Beth was talking about.
Yes, they're wonderful in getting involved and collaborating with other organizations.
Right.
So it's three of us, three organizations, Freed, Center for Independent Living, the Falls Prevention Coalition of Nevada County, and Live Healthy Nevada County, wrote a grant to the Sierra Health Foundation proposing that we pull together these stroll and roll clubs, and that we're also intending to do to focus on walkability issues, to really look at the problems in our various neighborhoods that prevent them from being pedestrian friendly.
And that's where the Live Healthy Nevada County, I think, has gotten very active in identifying and making sidewalks better.
Yes, they have. There's a Walkability Action Committee, which I serve on, that has really focused indeed on doing audits of different parts in the community to try to identify the problems. Grass Valley, the city of Grass Valley has been wonderful in working with the Walkability Action Committee
Oh,
and
good.
really are going to be making some improvements on Sutton Way, we're happy to say.
Great. Charlotte, I'll ask you, how long, you're one of the walkers. And, yeah, the strolling rollers. Where do you live?
I live at the Bret Hart Retirement Inn on Main Street,
Okay.
and we go down to West Main for that walking group.
All right.
It's very easy to get to.
So the West Main is one of the walk
Yes,
clubs?
Yes. There's 3 altogether.
Okay. And then, so you walk from, on West Main, is that where your route
We
is?
walk from St. Joseph's School up Church Street to Main Street, down to Mill, down Mill to Neal,
Oh,
Neal
wow.
back to Church, and then on back down where we started. It's a mile.
Oh,
It's
my
been
gosh.
clocked as a mile, but we don't all walk at the same speed.
Right. Right.
That's
At your own pace.
Yes, exactly.
Well, you're wearing the T-shirt, the official Stroll and Roll T-shirt.
And my whistle.
Yeah, tell us the whistle and participants get that. It's a safety feature.
Yes.
Okay.
If you
Or get lost behind. Is it to time out, wait for me?
Right,
No?
and they have one walk, somebody used it, and I believe Cynthia picked them up and took them back to the beginning of, and waited for the rest of us to come
Oh,
back.
good. So, Cynthia, how many people are, I know it's new and people are still kind of coming on board, but how many people would you say are in this?
There are probably about 35 now,
Oh.
I would say, and we have four stroll and roll clubs.
Uh-huh.
The one
Oh,
on
there's
West
4.
Main,
Oh.
2 in the Sutton Way area, which also includes Dorsey Drive and Old Tunnel,
Okay,
and then one in Morgan Ranch.
okay,
So, yes, we're definitely continuing to recruit.
okay.
And I think that the other important thing, Cheryl, that is we really try to get across to people is it's the Stroll and Rollers Club. Definitely. We want people to walk at whatever ability they can walk. So if they can go a block and need to turn back, we'll have somebody there to turn back with them.
Okay.
If they can go this full mile, wonderful.
Right.
But it really is what will work for the people who participate. And we have people who use canes, who use walkers.
Right.
So
That was my question.
Yeah.
Because this is created for seniors and those with disabilities, can somebody in a wheelchair participate as well?
definitely.
Get involved? Okay.
Absolutely. And in fact, that's why it's called Stroll and Roll.
On
And
wheels?
I don't know if Charlotte is able to stand up and show the back. Probably
Sure.
not.
We'll try.
You'll try. Oh, dear.
Whoops, not with the.
I'll just
It's
There
there.
we go.
See, Stroll and Roll. That's our little logo, and the L's are 2 legs, and the O is a wheelchair spoke.
Oh, yes, I see that.
Uh-huh. And there's downtown Grass Valley with all different people
Quite
strolling and
nice.
rolling. We're very proud of these T-shirts, so
Okay.
I'm glad she could show them off. Charlotte is.
Well, it was quite nice. They gave them to us free of charge.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's part of
The
grant.
official T-shirt. It's kind of team feeling, you know,
Yes.
when you wear all the T-shirts, and it makes a presence as you walk through the neighborhood, you know.
Downtown Mill Street, too, the merchants
It's a
look at
vibrant,
us and-
nice-looking T-shirt. And we've got a poster, our flyer, Cynthia, that you, so when we can get that up there, then our viewers, there we go, they can take a look at some of the scheduling. Yeah, the West Main is on Wednesday at 9:45. The Sutton Club is 2 days,
Yeah.
Monday and Friday, and then the Morgan Ranch at 9:30.
Yeah, and I'd still like people to call either me or Jeannie at Freed, just so we can give them a little orientation,
Right.
see about, their interest in it.
Sure.
But really, the people, I've been walking with all of the clubs, and They're just wonderful.
Yeah.
They're so enthusiastic about doing this. They've really had a wonderful social interaction.
Sure.
In fact, the
Absolutely.
first time we did that mile, most were able to do it. It took an hour because mostly people were talking so much.
Stroll, talk, and roll, I guess.
That's good, yeah.
I was going to ask how long it takes. You know, I bet most of the participants probably are amazed to learn that they just did a mile. You know,
Yes, it is.
you know, you get caught up in the social of it, a beautiful day, and then when you just did a mile, it's probably hard to believe.
Yes, people were surprised. I clocked it with my car, and I told them, and they, got big-eyed and proud of themselves, as well they should.
Yeah.
And I walked one day with someone as part of the West Main group who could only go about half a block and needed to turn back. So again, I just want to stress that people of all ability levels are really welcome.
Welcome. And it don't have to
Doesn't
go.
take any skills either.
No special requirements
No.
of physical. But as you were saying, Charlotte, you have felt much better, lower blood pressure,
Lower stress.
low stress.
It
friends.
tones you up and it gives you more stamina, because if you don't exercise, you lose it if you don't
Right.
use it.
Right. So do you go to the other walk clubs?
No,
You
no,
stick with the
just-
one on
yes.
West Main. Yeah.
We're thinking of bringing them all together, maybe once every month or 2 months, so they can all meet each other at some central place, maybe the fairgrounds.
Right. Or the future community center would be good. So we got to keep our fingers crossed that goes through. So for more information, Cynthia can be reached at 263-1776. You can also contact Freed. And it looks like, ladies, we're out of time. So good luck. This is a very positive thing. Very positive.
Thank you.
Thank
We think
you.
so, too.
Join the club and walk and reduce your stress and get stamina and get a beautiful T-shirt. So
Thank
it's
you.
great. So Charlotte, thank you. Cynthia, thank you for coming back and
Delighted to be here.
all right. Okay, we have run out of time for this week, and we're so glad you could be with us again. You can catch us on the web. Tell your family and friends, NevadaCountyTV.org. We will see you on Monday. In the meantime, take care.
Rinse me down my bones, and I'm done. And I'm done. Yes, I'm done. At the river, yeah, yeah.
Shelters are the best places to find a new pet. You'll discover healthy and loving animals, just waiting to become a part of your family. Believe in the